I mean, I like it.
It works.
All right, ready? All right. Welcome back to episode 23, Link in Bio, the show that showcases Vegas culture, small businesses, and everything in between. In today's show, we have Trevor. He's a surgeon and a comedian. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a surgical tech.
Surgical tech, my
Help
bad.
the surgeon. I wish I was the surgeon.
I mean, it's pretty close, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
They can't do their job without me, but
true.
I can't do my job without them.
So it's like a co-op,
Yeah,
kind of like Call of Duty.
exactly.
Before we get started, go ahead and grab that clipboard, look at this camera, and name the title.
Name the title?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. You didn't see that coming, did you?
Peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
There you go. Peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Boom.
That sounds delicious.
It does. I don't know why I went to food. I literally just ate on the way over here.
What'd you eat?
I had some McDonald's.
Ooh, what, spicy chickens?
Yeah, it's the only way to go.
You just sound too happy about that.
Well, because it's like, that just means I'm super predictable now. You're like, oh, this is what you ate? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I mean,
Thanks.
as long as you're full, right?
I brought up Filet-O-Fish one time, like while I was performing at a show, and everyone's like, no one likes the Filet-O-Fish. And I was like, oh, I do.
I mean, yeah, as long as you're happy. What makes you happy at the end of the day? It should be fine. They don't like it, whatever. Tell us a little backstory how you got into a surgeon tech and a comedian.
So surgical tech, I was working with a guy at a hospice. And sorry. I was working at a hospice with this guy, and we like kind of became friends, and then we both left that job, and then he got a job running a surgery center, and he had kind of called and asked, you know, like, hey, do you want to come and work? And I was like, sure. So I was just kind of like doing some office stuff. And then I saw like what the surgical techs do, and I was like, I could do that.
Easy.
And then I was a little lazy and didn't do it. And then one day my mom kind of like drugged me down to the school and like signed me up. And we like, it was funny because we got in a big like argument, and I was like, I don't want to do this. You're making me do this. She's like, you're 23, you're a loser. Like, you got to go do something with your life. I'm like, all right, cool. So we signed up for school, and then, so like school, it was like 15 months. It was during like COVID. So that kind of sucked because we were on Zoom. We didn't get to learn a lot.
That's not bad, though, 15 months.
Yeah, 15 months isn't bad.
Just become like a tech?
Yeah, so like if you go to CSN, it's a little bit longer of a program and a little bit cheaper, and there's a little bit of a waiting list. But if you go to Nevada Career Institute, it's super fast, costs like twice as much, but there's no wait list.
Okay. That's pretty, I didn't know that. That's cool.
So I did that, and then I kind of hated it at first, and then I realized like, hey, like you got to appreciate it, like you're doing something cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
So now like I've just kind of like leaned fully into it, and I love it. And then comedy's a little on the darker side. I was real depressed, and I was like, you know, kind of thinking, but there were a few things I was like, I got to do like before. So I've always been like the funny guy at work. I was always the class clown. So I was like, oh, let me try comedy. So I just like Googled open mics. I knew nothing. And there was one coming up February 22nd, 2022, and it was called Bucket List Open Mic. So, like, to me, not knowing anything, I was like, oh, like, this is a chance for some drunk dudes to, like, go knock some stuff off their bucket list. I had no idea. It was at Wise Guys here in Vegas, and, like, I show up, and, like, it's, like, real comics that are, like, grinding, and I'm like, oh, shit, like, what did I sign up for? And then they called my name, and I was like, all right, guess it's time to go do this. And I ended up getting a couple laughs, and I was, like, instantly hooked. Like, it started as, like, oh, let me just do this one time. And then as soon as I got that first laugh, I was like, all right, I need more laughs. I need more. And then, yeah, I just kind of started hopping on the grind with the rest of the Vegas scene, hitting as many open mics as possible during the week. And it's been a lot of fun. Met a lot of people.
So you're a comedian by weekend and surgeon by day?
Yeah, I guess I do surgery to afford doing comedy at night. But
damn, that's a different... Like, you don't see that. You don't see a lot of people doing like you're a full-time surgeon or a full-time comedian. Never in between. Oh, hey, I do this as a hobby, or
yeah.
It's like
actually, I work with one surgeon here in town that like his side hustle is he's a professional poker player.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like he played in World Series of Poker. He like made it to the cash rounds. Like made money playing against some of the best in the world, and like he's also one of the best surgeons in Vegas too. And it's like it's kind of a dick move to be good at two things. Like just pick one.
I mean, it's double income at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One's more fun. You get to fucking play poker and then beat the most famous person that spends his whole life playing poker. And like, hey, I just do this for fun in your face.
Yeah.
Game over. Give me your money.
Yeah.
That's insane. I like that. Is there? I noticed that you do content for like your surgery side. Is it like a kind of like a struggle, or like what you're not like can or cannots while doing like behind the scene content?
It's tough because you need to make sure that there's like no patient info anywhere. You need to make sure there's nothing identifying. And then it's also hard too because when you start posting about surgery, you know, it's easy for patients to think like, oh, you're goofing off, like you're not giving me that full service. So it's kind of a fine line between like, hey, like I'm doing this to educate others, but like I'm still fully in on your case. I care about your case. You matter.
Do you do it before any cases or like just like cleaning up, putting stuff away?
I try to do both. Actually, I posted a video today of like me setting up for the case. It was my first case of the day, and like I had time to sit and record. So I went ahead and did that. And then a lot of times it's like, say we drop something or like we can't end up using something. I'll just try to quickly like take a video and be like, hey, this is what this is. This is how you use it.
And then just toss it right out.
Yeah, because it's like it has to go in the trash anyway. Like I might as well use it, like inform people. Because I know when I was in school, there were a couple of scrub techs posting content, and like I used that to learn. So for me, I'd like to be like that next wave. You know, it's like, hey, like some stuff's changed. You know, we need a new voice showing the new stuff.
That's pretty cool. I didn't, because I always wondered, like, because like for example, you're basically setting it up, and I was always wondered like, as like the client. He's like you said earlier, he's probably wasting my time. I'm paying all this money and my insurance and this and that. And you're just goofing off, like, but we're not. We're just here, like, literally at the end of the day, educating. And I always wonder what's the gray line of what cannot do in a situation like that. And that's pretty cool. So as long as you don't show faces and make sure it's like everything professionally, you'd be okay.
Yeah, and like some, because I've scrubbed at a lot of different centers, some are very like, hey, don't post this. The one center that I'm scrubbing at right now, I used to take a picture of like my case in the morning and just be like, oh, here's what we're doing. And they kind of were like, hey, we don't want that live stuff really, you know, for that reason. So I've started like taking a picture of my locker, and I'm like, all right, well, there's no surgery stuff here, but I'm still going to let people know like, hey, here's what I'm working on today. And so far that's been fine. And like the video I posted today, I have to do that either way. So what's the difference of me just propping my camera up
and it's just doing it, and then versus not doing it?
Right.
And how long have you been doing surgery for, or been a tech?
I've been a surgical tech for 2 years now.
And you enjoy every bit of it?
Like 95% of it, actually, yeah. Like in the very beginning, not at all. But I like it now.
I can't read your handwriting, bro. Oh, okay. I read it. What's the most crazy case that you done?
The craziest?
Yeah.
Like
the most intense case that you can't talk about.
The most intense case, actually, so there was one case when I was still like a student. I was working at Sunrise. Well, I was working, but like for free, because you have to get so many hours. And it was, I believe it was Christmas Eve, and there weren't a lot of surgeries, so they had asked like, hey, does anyone want to go home? There's not a lot to do today. And I was like, I want to stay. Like, I'm trying to get my hours done. So it ended up being only traumas that day because there weren't really any booked surgeries. And I had actually like ran into a room that was a gunshot wound, and I was like all excited to scrub in, and they were like, get the student out of here.
What?
Which was lame, but I ended up scrubbing into a case. A lady had a surgery about a week before, and they had accidentally perforated her bowel. And it was kind of leaking inside of her for the whole week. And when she came in for our surgery, I mean, she was pretty rough. She had like necrotizing fasciitis, so like most of her skin and tissue was dead. So we were just
don't know what that is.
It basically just means like her flesh was like being eaten alive, basically.
Oh.
So yeah, so that was like a super intense rough case. She ended up having great results. Like she needed some skin grafts and stuff, but the last time that I had followed up, she was doing well, so that was cool.
And then the prior surgery fucked it up. Was the same people with you guys, or was it just like
no? So it was a different surgery. Okay. She had like an elective surgery. They did it like through a scope, so they just poke like a tiny hole, stick a camera in there, And
Really?
I guess while they were in there messing around, like they had accidentally nicked it.
Wow. Technology is crazy. That small?
Technologies.
Just a hole and that's it.
Yeah, you do like 3 holes. So you like poke one by the belly button. That's where the camera goes. And then you have 2 holes that you stick your instruments through. And you can do a lot of stuff that way.
Damn, I did not know that. I'm going to assume like back in the day, they just like really just cut you up and they had to go in there hands deep and just really do it that way.
Yeah, and now it's like it's all about minimally invasive. It's as small as you can make that scar, the better. Even for that, like I work with one surgeon. He does a lot of breast dogs, but he like makes the incision in the armpit. Where the old way was like make like an incision in the breast, but then there's that scar. So he's like, his whole brand is No Scar Breast Dog. We make an incision through the armpit. We go in, dissect, squeeze the implant in. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty awesome. Have you ever been sued?
I have not been sued. There is a case that had some bad results recently, and that is a fear of mine that it'll turn into a lawsuit. But usually for us, when they sue, they'll like throw a big net out and they'll try to sue everybody they can. But then they usually look at it and they're like, the scrub tech doesn't have any money, so we usually get dropped off of the lawsuit.
Okay.
So that's kind of nice, but I have liability insurance just in case.
Do you have to get it?
No. I actually had someone tell me that like it's more of a liability for me to have liability insurance.
What?
It was weird, but it kind of made sense because he was like, well, like if they think you don't have money, they're not going to sue you. But once they find out you have $1 million policy, they're going to sue you. And I was like, I guess that makes sense.
Oh.
But for me, like the peace of mind having that insurance is nice.
I mean, do you have to tell them that you have liability insurance of $1 million?
I don't know. I don't know like how the lawsuits actually work. I know they do the discovery, so there's probably a chance they find it there. But
I wonder, like, how would they know? Like, is it like on? They Google you? Like, how do you know? Like, it's you.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Huh? Fun fact. Crazy. And then followed by that. I mean, I haven't followed by that. That's, and then, do you have any more shows, stand-up comedian shows coming up?
I don't have anything booked right now. I've been hitting open mics. My favorite open mic is Tuesdays at Wise Guys. So I try to hit that one as often as possible. But right now, like, work is kind of dominating the comedy,
I feel it.
which it's nice. I'm getting paid.
Yeah, but at the same time, dude,
it's
I
like,
don't want to do
I'd rather be chasing my dream.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, am I not going to be as successful as the others because, like,
every day
I
think about that every morning as soon as I wake up. Damn, what am I doing today?
Like, there's some Vegas comics that are hitting a mic every night, and like in the time I've known them since February, I'm like, holy, like, you're a pro now. Like, I thought you were good before, but now, like,
you're pro.
I would pay to watch you, you know. And it's like I'm not there.
Do you think they do like a lot of focusing like their own content as well at home, making comedy stand up?
Yeah, they probably, because a lot of them, well, I can't speak for everybody, but I know a lot of like Vegas comics, they don't have like that super serious day job.
Yeah.
So they do have more free time. But I mean, even if you have that day job, you know, just that commitment of like that extra time working, like I do have enough hours in the day I could, but stuff has to like get prioritized other places.
Yeah, being an adult sucks sometimes.
It does.
Or a lot of the time. Who are your top favorite comedians?
I love Tom Segura. My all-time favorite is probably Ron White.
Ron White.
I love Ron White. When I was a kid, you know, he told that joke about being drunk in public. Yeah. He's like, I didn't want to be drunk in public. You threw me in public. And as a kid, I was like, that's funny. And then, you know, as a 21-year-old in Vegas getting thrown out of the bar, I was like, oh my God, that's comedic genius. Yeah. Like, it finally clicked.
Is he still touring or?
Yeah, he's looking a little rough these days, but he came through here, I think twice this year, and I wanted to see him, but stuff came up.
Yeah, he's a good one. I like him. He does the whiskey and the cigar.
Yeah.
That's like his go-to drink, whatever it is. More breaking news. How do you come up with your material?
For me, a lot of my material is like stuff that actually happened. And then I just like lie a little bit to make it funny, you know? Because it's like if you just tell it, it usually is like, oh, you had to be there. But like if you throw some like crazy twist in there, it's like, all right, now that's comedy. So a lot of it'll like, there's conversations that happen in the OR that I'm like, oh, I can make this funny. But also like I've just had bad stuff happen to me that naturally is funny. So that's.
Can we talk about how can you name one of them?
Yeah, we can talk about my favorite joke.
Yeah, tell me.
So I have a joke about a girl that I was dating getting pregnant with someone else's kid. It's a true story. Very unfortunate circumstances. But the best part is the baby daddy's name is Seven.
Wait, what?
So like I naturally was just able to make a 7, 8, 9 joke, and people like came up and they were like, dude, the way that you turned that dad's joke into like new comedy is like comedic genius. And I'm like, I wish I could take credit, but that is legitimately his name. I just like ran with it.
So the baby daddy's name's Seven.
Yeah. So his name's Seven. So like the joke, obviously, I'm like, if he ever goes to jail for eating 9, I'm ready to be a stepdad.
Right.
Because 7, 8, 9. I've twisted it up at times. I've been like, she should change her name to 6 so she can come before him. Like, but I can't take the credit for writing that. I'm just telling the story at that point.
Yo, 7, roll through. I got 8 with me.
Like, it's the funniest part is
what's the concept? Like, why? Do you know why they named him 7?
I don't know. And actually, at one point, like when we were like, hey, we shouldn't talk anymore, like I had reached out and I was like, but like if you ever need a friend, I'm here. And she was like, I have 7 for that. But I thought she meant she had 7 friends. So I like text this girl and I'm like, I'm glad you have 7 people that are there for you. I have maybe 3. And then I'm talking to someone that knows her a little bit later and they're like, nah, like his name's 7. I'm like, his name's what?
Dude, that's I could just imagine like the whole conflict of my name's 7. Is that I don't know if that's even good or bad. That's insane.
Well, it was funny because John Caparulo, he's a comedian that like gets paid to travel, but he's at Wise Guys all the time. And I went right before him one time and I told that joke, and he like goes on this joke and he's like, dude, that's some crazy stuff because I met someone named 6 one time, and he like has like the whole list of jokes, and I was like, that's amazing. He just took my joke and like ran with his joke, and I like wish I could have talked to him and like, nah, his name's really 7.
Well, are you guys still talking now or what?
No, I haven't talked to her months. So it's like sometimes I feel bad telling the joke because I'm like, but then it's like, it is something that happened to me.
You guys left in good terms though,
and
right?
It's,
it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. And do you have any like which comedians do you like working with in town?
So I hate naming names because I always end up forgetting people.
Same.
But 2 of my best buddies here in town, there's a guy, Casper the comic.
Okay, I met him a couple times.
Yeah, he's super funny, killing it. And then there's a comic here in town, Ahmed. The 3 of us all kind of like started the same time and like just kind of bonded. So we have like our little friend group and we call us like Tres Leches.
The 3 milks?
The 3 milks, yeah. And like we joke all the time, we're like, which milk is which? Because there's 2 white guys and a brown guy. So I'm like, there's like, is one like, so I joke I'm whole milk because I'm a little thick. And then Casper's skinny, so he can be skim milk. And then Ahmed can be like chocolate milk.
So you guys basically the 3 musketeers and just really just go out all the time, or at least try to?
We used to more. Ahmed had moved to Texas briefly. Casper's been like really like taken off. And then I've kind of, so like we don't do as much as we used to, but yeah, we used to like roll through open mics together, and it was nice having that like support in the beginning. Cause these guys, like they came like, we want to be comics.
Yeah.
And I came like, I might kill myself. I want to tell some jokes before I do. So they kind of took me under their ropes. They showed me all the mics here in town.
You just ran with it.
We just ran with it.
That's cool, man. And you guys are still talking to this day?
Yeah, we still talk. We still have a little group chat called Trace Leches. But yeah, we all just kind of started doing our own thing. So it's like there's no hard feelings, but it's just life happens. We're busy. Casper actually texted me last night. He's like, I miss you, dude. Like, come out to some mics. I'm like, I'll be there Tuesday because he's hosting.
Where's that at?
Wise Guys is, off of Main and 3rd?
Around Fremont area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Arts District.
Okay.
It's by Jack in the Box.
I know what Jack is.
Yeah.
I've been there multiple times. What is like the most? Can you give any type of advice for an upcoming comedian that wants to pursue that career?
I think consistency, and I think I can say that for 2 ways because like I've watched like Casper be consistent, and I've watched him grind and like get better every time from the consistency. And then like for me, I've seen me be consistent, and then I've seen what happens when I'm inconsistent. And then it's like, oh, let me just hit one mic, and it's like, oh, like I left off here, but now I'm down. And it's just because I don't have that consistency. There's a comedian, Nimesh Patel. He's killing it on TikTok. I had DM'd him at one point, and now I think it was some white lady that replied and not him, because after I saw a show, he told us his social media girl was a little white lady, but that was kind of his advice too, was like consistency, like just be consistent.
Yeah, no, I think that's with every type of journey, becoming a photographer, a videographer, a comedian, or anything to do with social media. You kind of have to be consistent, or going to a show consistent. Versus doing it one time and falling off. Because I remember one time I was going hammered every day posting, and then I ran out of content. I'm like, damn, fucking quiet. I don't know what to do. I was just burnt out. I couldn't, because I have a habit of doing everything like the day of. Oh, I shot it. Okay, let me edit it and let me post it, and then I'm But now I try to do everything bulk.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man.
It's nice when you can like spend a Saturday filming content, put it in your drafts, and then post it. Yeah. 'Cause I was posting real consistent on TikTok, and then I had a video hit 1 million views. And then I like had nothing left to post. And then when I would post, it's like 100 views. And I'm like, no, I lost my moment.
Yeah, no, TikTok is more like the more, I think the key is to be consistent, and it'll fucking throw into a pool, and then you'll get the a million views or whatever, because you're being consistent. Yeah. I think that's what they like. And based off how you do any hooks on your stories, on your post?
No, I need to get better at like making actual content, not just posting stuff, because I did get kind of like just dumb lucky, but
yeah,
it's work in progress.
Hey, as long as it works, right? Are you gonna start doing like bulk content eventually?
Yeah, I want to start like spending Saturdays like just filming videos, or like if we have a short day, like see if some of my coworkers want to like film like 4 or 5 videos that night, like. And then I can post them throughout the week, like just like little skits and stuff.
Ooh, what is like your workflow?
Workflow's like balls to the wall. Like, yeah. So like tomorrow's Monday. So we do total joints. We get to sleep in a little. We go in at 8. We start at 9. And then we do 6 total joints.
PM?
We start at 9 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So we go in at 8 a.m. And then we just bust out total joints. So we have 1 tech in each room. And then the third tech bounces rooms. So usually I'm the third tech. So like my one coworker, Erin, she'll have her room. Mike will have his room. And they stay in there and they get 3 cases. But for me, I'm in all 6. So like as soon as we're closing this patient, I run to the next room, like bring the patient back, get them all set up, anesthesia, like puts them to sleep. We get them draped. And then like the surgeon comes in. We do surgery. We're closing. I run to the other room, get it all set up.
So you're basically doing everything.
Yeah.
Like
so,
at least like the prep work wise.
Yeah. So like the surgeon will come in and do their surgery and then leave. But like we have prep time, setting the room up, making sure it's clean. We have tear down time, cleaning the room. Yeah. So it's like, yes, the surgeon's the most important. They're doing the surgery, but like we do a lot of work.
A lot of prep work.
Yeah. Sure I think that's one thing like not a lot of people really know about our job, you know, because you know about doctors, you know about nurses. You don't really know about like the techs. So that's another reason that I like posting content, is like getting it out there, letting people know, hey, like this is a career. You can support a family off of this. Like it's its own thing, just like nursing is.
Yeah, because the school's not that long. You said 5 months, right?
15
months.
But that's still not that long. Like there's no prereqs. Like you go straight to tech school.
Boom. And then can you get a job as soon as you graduate?
Yeah. So when my class graduated, it was still COVID, so it was a little tough. But I got employed the month I graduated, and I've been employed since.
Okay, yeah. Then you're Gucci then.
Yeah. So as long as and a lot of people like, because you do clinicals at a hospital, a lot of times the hospital will hire you. They'll be like, oh, hey, you did a good job. Like, do you want to work here?
Oh, how do you discover? Or how do you get into like? How can you tell the audience how to find it, or if they want to get into that career path?
I would just Google like surgical technology wherever you live. If you're here in Vegas, there's 2 schools you can go to. You can go to Nevada Career Institute, or you can go to CSN. Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of gross stuff. I mean, so, like it's not for everybody, but if you can handle that, it's a good job. It pays well. The hours are long, but like you'll usually end up getting a break. So like you'll get slammed for a month. You'll get some like slower days, or you'll get slammed one day and then you'll have like a slow day. But it's a good job. It's a good career.
And you speak about any weird like bloodbath?
Yeah, I mean, I've been splashed several times. I got a pretty gross one the other day. When you're doing a total knee, there's a lot of like inflammation and there's a lot of fluid that'll build up in there. So as soon as the surgeon makes that incision, it usually kind of squirts. And like most of the time I can catch most of it with suction, but the other day he made that incision and it like got under my mask. And like I kind of just for a minute like sat there and I was like, oh God. But then, like it came back and I was like, well, guess I know what it feels like to be come on now. Like you just kind of, you develop a weird sense of humor in the operating room, but it's just like, all right, this is life. It'll be fine.
What's the procedure for that if it does go like in your eye or something?
We have like eye wash stations, so I would go rinse my eye out for 15 minutes. I've had a few things land in my eye, not like gross stuff, but I've had like medicine accidentally squirt me.
Loss of vision or what?
No, like it kind of made my eye numb.
Oh, okay.
So that it was fine. Like it wasn't the end of the world, but yeah, I always try to wear eye protection. There's a lot of dumb things I do in life, but like that's one thing I'm like, I only have 2 eyes. I'm not gonna mess around and lose one of them.
Right, over fucking, I don't know, what was it, medicine?
It was like lidocaine or something, but it's fine.
It's fine. You good though? All your
I'm
vision's
good.
20/20?
All my it's close.
Close enough.
I don't have great eyes to begin with.
All right, man. Do you have any wisdom that you want to give out to anyone?
Any wisdom? I don't know. Something I learned this year was like to listen more.
Okay.
I mean, I've talked a lot today, but like just in work anywhere, like, yeah, I go to work as a surgical tech. I went to school to be a surgical tech, but like these surgeons, they're businessmen. They've lived lives. Like they know so much. And I just love like sitting there and soaking up the information. And then I started taking that other places, like at the gym. I love listening to some of the old heads in there, even though some of them are crazy. Like there's some good stuff. Or like you're sitting in the sauna at the gym, like just listen to people's stories. It makes the world smaller. Like
you never know what that person went through right next to you. That person could be like low key fucking mobster. You never know.
You'd never know. It's kind of crazy thing about that, like in life. Like how many people do you drive by and you never once like they have a backstory just as complex as yours and you're never gonna know it. Like it's weird.
Yeah, if you put it that way, yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm that guy. I'll hop in an Uber, sit in the front seat and like talk his ear off. Like, and my mom's always like getting in the back. She's like, oh, like, I don't want to talk. And she's like, you have anxiety. Why do you talk? And I'm like, because it makes the world smaller. Like he's not a stranger anymore. I don't have to be scared of him. Right. I know him now. Like,
he's my Uber driver for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Too. I gotta be comfortable somehow.
Exactly.
That's good. That's like that. You don't know who you're gonna run into, how they are, or what's their story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people with the story, way worse than yours, better than yours, and that's it, really. Yeah.
And there's always something to learn.
Always. You don't know what they're gonna drop or how they came up or what they went through.
Yeah. Or who knows? A couple years from now, you could be talking to someone that knows them or something. Like you never know if there's especially in Vegas. Like Vegas is so small, and then the Vegas medical community is even smaller on top of that. Damn. Like anywhere I go work, there's someone somewhere that knows someone I've worked with.
Oh, you work with so and so, this and that. Yeah. No, you're right. It is because I heard a lot of horrible stories from clients of mine that I know them as a photographer and they messed them up. I'm like, damn, bro, I didn't know you were that type of person. Just because you've lack of communication, really. Yeah. It was just like, you just got to really communicate well because we don't know what we're going through. And you just got to make sure you could communicate. And if you got that, you're gravy.
Yeah.
That's cool. Any more notes, Rex? No?
I know you got some open mic stories, some crazy stories. Any wild nights?
Ooh. Man, a couple of weeks ago, I was with Casper. We're at his mic. It's at the Ocha Thai Cuisine. So Ty used to run it. Ty left, and now Casper's running it, and they call it the Ghost Pepper mic. And me and Casper are, like, sitting outside, and this guy comes up, and he's like, hey, y'all got, like, some money, like, so I can get some candy? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what? Why does a grown man want candy? Like, completely just misreading the situation. And then I was like, no, I don't have any money. And Casper's like, no, I ain't got nothing. And then the guy, apparently he said something along the lines of like, don't make me run your pockets. But like to me, I thought he said like, you didn't even check your pockets. So I'm like, well, I know I don't carry cash, sir. Like, I promise there's nothing here for you. And then he's just like staring us down. And I'm like, this is so weird. And then he like walks away and then he turns around and he looks at Casper and goes, nice hair. And Casper's like, thank you. And then he walks away and Casper's like, that dude just tried to rob us. And I was like, he just tried to do what? Like, I was like freaking out, but like, luckily in the moment I misread it because I looked gangster as shit. I was like, I ain't got no money, bro. What you gonna do? Yeah, had I realized it, I would have been crying. I'd have been like, take it. Take my credit card. I don't care.
After the day, he couldn't have robbed you. You say, hey, you have a nice hair. You have,
Right?
you have a great day.
Yeah,
Hey,
like-
I tried. Thank you, though.
Yeah, and then Casper points out, he's like, bro, he was holding a meth pipe that whole time. I was like, is that what that was? Like, I look like I do a lot, but I am very sheltered.
Wow.
Misread the entire situation.
Same, man. Candy.
Yeah, that's apparently what he wanted was
Candy. He
drugs.
wanted
And
some
I was
fucking-
like,
he wanted some rock. But you guys didn't had none. And he was
I'm like,
upset
it's like
because you didn't check
11
your
o'clock
pockets.
at night. Yeah, he was mad we didn't check our pockets. I'm like, I know, like, I got chapstick right now. That's all I got.
Suit, same.
I got the good chapstick, though. It's wintertime. You need that candy cane.
The candy cane flavor.
Yeah.
Lipstick chappy. For sure. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really do appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you for having me out.
If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with a friend. Also, if you do need a studio space, hit up art. Whoa, down. I had a fucking fart. The Artist Haven on Instagram. He will help you out with anything. He's there for the community. Everything's linked down below. You could do your own podcasting, your own music videos, your own event center, anything you want to do in here. Just reach out to him, see what he could do. Thank you guys for watching.